We were just talking about some of the flooding in Pajaro, California. I want to bring you a live report, a live update now from Fox 2's Jesse Gary, who is joining us live from there. Now, Jesse, what is it looking like today? Are you seeing any improvements, or what are officials telling you on the grounds there?
Improvement, Lexie, but not in the way you would probably expect. We talked about the levee breach, which has actually grown from 100 feet to 300 feet, so an increase of threefold. However, there is also a second breach, and officials say because of that second breach, it's been able to act like a kind of almost like a vacuum and kind of suck some of the water out. So water levels have gone down a little bit, still high. The water behind me is about shin deep, and this is probably at the lowest lying area of water. So shin deep, but it's improved because of that second breach. Now here's the problem. Overnight, Monday night into Tuesday, another storm is supposed to hit the California coast, bringing with it lots of rain, the possibility and probability of more flooding, which would worsen these conditions. We've seen neighborhoods swamped, 2,000 people evacuated to neighboring Santa Cruz County. Because Santa Cruz County, at least the fairgrounds in Santa Cruz, are closer, people from Pajaro are being taken there as a temporary shelter. We talked to some residents today who say they're going to be there upwards of 2 to 3 weeks while they wait for this situation to improve so they can get back to their homes. And then once they get back home, who knows what's left and if it's livable. So those are the questions that are facing residents right now.
And Jesse, I know that there was an update from officials today. What are the big takeaways from that?
The big takeaways were the second breach in the levee. So not one, but two breaches. And the fact that that second breach actually helped improve conditions. Another big takeaway from the sheriff's office, they said they've performed between 150 and 170 rescues, mostly of people who were in vehicles who drove into high flood water and got stuck. You hear all the time, don't drive into water. If you see water, don't drive into it. Don't think or risk trying to cross it. And that was reiterated today by the Monterey County Sheriff's Office. So a lot of the rescues had to do with that. And then there were more rescues with people who decided to try to ride out this flooding in their homes and found out either they couldn't, ran out of food, whatever the reason, they needed to get out. And so that's why officials right now are trying to tell people, now that we have a slight break in the weather where it's cloudy today but not raining, go ahead and leave now before it worsens overnight. The last takeaway is from the Monterey County Farm Bureau, which says because of all of this rain and flooding, it's going to impact the price of some produce. Specifically, they talked about strawberries and raspberries because they've been sitting underwater for so long. They're going to be ruined, and that's going to impact the price because you're going to have a shortage in the supply of those two products.
Yeah, Jesse, we're looking at some aerial images now of the flooding and of the damage there, swamped cars, homes, businesses throughout the area. For viewers who might not be familiar with where Pajaro is, what's the best way to describe the location of where you're at right now?
Well, I think a lot of viewers across the country are familiar with the Pacific Coast Highway, California 1. And that runs along the coast of California from the south all the way up through the north. And if you take the one all the way to Monterey Bay, where like Pebble Beach is, now you're in the neighborhood of Salinas. Then you want to go east in for, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 miles, and then you'll get to Pajaro. So it sits right on the edge of Monterey County, northern Monterey County, and southern Santa Cruz County. So just in that little area, and it's an kind of an unincorporated little area, and so that's where it is, just east of what people would know as the Pacific Coast Highway or California 1, and Monterey Bay in that kind of area, Salinas, Monterey Bay. It's very close to what I would call the South Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area, which would be Gilroy in that area, southern Santa Clara County. So it's a very agricultural community, a lot of farming, a lot of people here involved in farming, and that's why the fact that these farmlands are inundated with water, why it's such a big concern. A lot of people can't work, and B, it's going to impact products, which is going to impact the rest of us, whether we're tied to agriculture or not.
And I was going to say, Jesse, with so many people having to evacuate and not being able to come back for potentially several weeks, do they feel like they had enough time to prepare for something like this to happen? Or are most of them saying that they've been caught off guard by this?
Well, it's kind of hard to prepare for a knock on the door saying, "Hey, it's going to flood. Get out, leave." So, I mean, unless you have an emergency packet, even so, you know, most people who have emergency provisions or supplies are prepared for maybe a 2 or 3 day exodus from their homes as opposed to 2 to 3 weeks. So, you know, the short answer is no, they're not necessarily prepared to be out of their homes for weeks. I talked to one man who was saying, you know, one of the things they need, the most important thing, is clothing. You know, socks and sweatshirts and pants, that kind of thing, to keep you warm, because, you know, it's generally moderate here in California, but, you know, unbeknownst to the rest of the country, it can get chilly, and particularly when it's damp, it's, you know, you want to layer up. So that's the kind of things that these folks are looking for, who are at the makeshift shelter at the Santa Cruz County fairgrounds, which are literally just across the county line between Monterey County and Santa Cruz County. The reason why they're going there is because it's closer. The other option would be to take them all the way down to Salinas in that area, which is a farther drive. So this is a little bit easier to get to.
All right, Fox 2's Jesse Gary. Great reporting there, Jesse, and thanks for that update.